It's just point in time tools, right? And I think they're going to continue to do that, but they're going to do those tasks better and better and better. So the gap is going to be, how do you stitch together the whole thing? How do you orchestrate the work of the people with the agents, with the AI in there? And how do you build systems that allow those parts to be interchangeable?
Super excited to announce the Law Firm Retreat Design Your Future being held this August 5th through 8th, 2026 in the Denver, Colorado area. Teaming up with law firm architects, Power Strategy Group, we're going to be having an amazing opportunity for up to 15 firms to work on the business, not in the business. Find out more at powerstrategygroup.com. Well, welcome back to another episode of Power Up Your Practice. We have Brian Mayer, who is the VP of Product at Neostella. We're actually at NeoSummit right now in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I still haven't made it out to the beach, but I can see it, but that's another moment. But anyway, I'm really grateful to have you on the show and to be here live at NeoSummit. So you've the enterprise case management software for legal teams. Tell us a little bit more about your what Neostella is and your background.
Yeah. Neostella is trying to be a new type of case management in legal. The going trend forever has been for case management systems to try to do everything. And that's intentionally not what we're trying to do. We're trying to build something that is intentionally extensible and open to be able to have an ecosystem within the industry of different tools, different vendors, et cetera, that can do the specialized things that firms need, especially coming on in the realm of AI now. The vendors that are trying to like force people into an AI, into their platform, are constraining themselves. They're constraining their clients, and we just don't want to do that.
Well, it seems like we've got the two schools of thought. You're either try to be all in one, come here and stay here, or make a tech stack that plays well together. So you're more in that make a tech stack that plays well together.
Yeah, and we find that that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody in the middle that wants to do that. So others want to be like all in one.
Yeah,
we're more like one for all.
Yeah. So I mean, and so why you propose the question? Why can't we have nice things? Why don't legal tools talk to each other? Like, I mean, this is I only hear is like open API or no open and like integration, partial integration. Like, can you tell me a little bit more of like what you were seeing out there in this space and sort of that what's happening with the companies?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players in the space, and I don't want to name names, but you have a lot that either don't have anything open, they don't offer integrations, or if they're going to offer an integration, like they're going to control what it is, how it's built, how it works in the system. There are others in the industry that do have APIs, and they're relatively open, but in some of those cases, the systems that they're connecting to aren't really flexible enough to really take advantage of that and to really make something connect. There's others in the industries that they may claim to have an open API, but then they severely gate like who's allowed to use it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not open.
Right.
So for us, like, we put our money where our mouth is. So in our contract is that our API will remain free and open. We tried to put forever, but the lawyers wouldn't let us do that. They capped us at like 50 years. So yes, that's actually
those lawyers.
And we put it there.
Yeah. I mean, because I think that's the fear is that if you say it, you lure people in, like, ooh, we'll play well with others, and then one day you don't, and like we're like, well, okay, what do we do now?
For us, it's not just a launch strategy. It's part of the DNA. It's like part of the core value prop of the system itself.
Before we got started, I asked like how old is Neostella, how long you've been, but actually for those who haven't heard of Neostella, can you give us a little bit more background about the company?
Oh, okay, sure.
A short version.
I'll try to piece it together. So but it's actually interesting because it's that background that like led us to where we are here today. It's an interesting story, a journey. So we started in the fall of 2019, right before our beloved epidemic hit, and we started as an RPA company. So we were selling UiPath and doing implementations of RPA, largely in manufacturing. And
what is RPA for people?
A robotic process automation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's about, and when you're doing that, your job is to understand business processes to be able to automate them. Like that's the core job of an implementer. So that's really what we learned how to do, was how to take apart processes. Things with UiPath, they weren't being a very good partner to all of their partners, not just us. And so we started to kind of a little bit move on from them. And we had another iPaaS provider that we had started to work with, because the same skill set, different software moving through. That company also decided to stop being good to their partners. So you're going to see a trend here on the partner side of things. And then right around May of 22, we were approached by another legal case management system to be able to partner with them and be an implementer, because that's what we did. We did implementation. We weren't going to sell their software, but we were going to implement it. And so we went out there, got certified, learned the whole thing. I kind of got that practice like off the ground, up and running, and realized quickly, it's like, oh, well, this product needs more help, right? So we started to build small products around this case management platform. Well, there was risk in that, right? We've already been burned by 2 other partners, and now we're getting in deeper with a third partner. Well, that partner decided it wasn't going to want to play ball anymore, and it decided that they were going to start basically copying the products that we were building into their product.
Oh, okay.
And so that's not a very good partner thing. And that's when we just made the decision. It's like, okay, we're going to stop being that partner, and we're going to go on the other side of the table so that we can create the thing that we're going to control, and so that we can have what is officially named the best damn partner program, because we know what it's like to be on the other side of the table.
That did their lawyers allow you to
put that? And so that's why I say it's really in our DNA.
Yeah.
Because we've always been on the other side of the table. We know what it's like. And so we know how not to treat partners, and we know how partners want to be treated, whether those are tech partners, enablement partners, whatever it is.
And so here at NeoSummit, this is the second time that the Neostella has had NeoSummit, and there's a lot of vendor sponsors, partners out in the exhibit hall. So it really shows what you're saying.
And we were sold out.
Yeah. Oh,
we had a waiting list of more that wanted to come.
Oh, wow.
Space.
Yeah. Wow. That says a lot there. Before we close up, I wanted to mention you were talking about the humans and AI agents. I think it's really funny because I don't think I said the word human as much as I have in the last few years. You know, it's like it's just assumed we're talking about humans for the most part. We don't have to say it, but now it's not assumed, and there's a lot of talk about AI and agents, and then I think there's a lot of listeners too that they want to create an agent, they don't know how. There's a lot in that space, but how will the current tools need to evolve to support the bridge between the humans and the AI agents?
We're going to have to learn to get along with technology. It has often been our foe,
right?
But it's going to have to be our friend, right? Firms are going to have workflows and systems, excuse me, that allow them to be able to hand work back and forth. Right. This is going to be a collaboration over time. We can think about right now and what the tools are doing right now. It's just point in time tools. Right. And I think they're going to continue to do that, but they're going to do those tasks better and better and better. So the gap is going to be, how do you stitch together the whole thing? How do you orchestrate the work of the people with the agents, with the AI in there? And how do you build systems that allow those parts to be interchangeable?
Yeah. So for a lot of law firms, they're, they might not have a technologist. I don't know, what are we going to call the person who's going to be figuring all this out for a firm, or they just hire Neostella and then you guys will figure it out. I don't know. But
What I've heard is legal engineer.
Legal engineer. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think we're having to all add that to a lot of legal engineering knowledge to practicing law at the same time. But that's a whole other concept that you're just saying, like having to have someone, and it's going to need someone. You can't just hire someone, set it up, and then walk away. You're going to have to be keeping an eye on it on a regular basis to make sure that those systems are happening. Right?
Yeah, and it doesn't require somebody who's like super technical. Right?
Okay.
What it requires is somebody who really understands business processes. Because you're the people. So like when we think of people who run ops in firms, right? These are the people that you can know any process in the firm.
Yeah.
Whether that's, an intake process or a follow-up on depositions, or whether that is, whatever it is that you need to do for like the entire lifespan of a case, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really those people that can understand at the task level and at the logic level. And so, that's what I would encourage people to do is like start documenting your stuff.
This episode is sponsored by Candid AI, the legal email assistant that helps legal teams spend less time on client emails. You heard me right, spending less time on emails. Candid AI works with both Gmail and Outlook, so you don't have to learn a new tool. And then it connects with popular case management systems like Clio, Filevine, NeoSummit, and more to come. It instantly shows you your case and the client details the moment you open a client email, and right inside your inbox. Then that means less context switching and time spent jumping to different tabs to figure out what you need to respond. Candid can also draft context-aware responses to client emails and makes it easy to create, edit, and manage your email templates. If you want to save time and take back control of your inbox, check out Candid AI. I highly suggest it.
Yeah, so it sounds like you'd have your standard operating procedures, and you've already throw in tech to make yourself more efficient. But then, like putting in agents would be like a whole another layer to take it up a notch or two. But you'd have to keep an eye on it, making sure it's the most efficient and it makes sense.
Yeah, always.
Right. And so then that goes to like workflow and scalability, which we talked a lot here, like even on my panel, we talked about workflow and scalability. And we've also heard from one of the panel speakers, like if you're not growing, you're dying. And so where does the workflow management break down as legal teams grow, and what does scalability actually look like? I think that it sounds cool to scale. Everyone, that sounds awesome. But like practically doing it, what would you suggest?
It really takes finding the right tools to support what it is that you want to be able to do. So firms are already doing this. They've been doing this since before there was tech involved.
Yeah.
Right. So you had processes and you followed them. Right.
Some do it better than others.
Some, right. Right. And the ones who tend to be more successful are the ones that tend to do it better. Right. So when it comes to the scalability side of it, though, it's about getting that process in a way that isn't just in people's heads. And like even today, even in successful firms, there's still parts of the process that are in people's heads because they don't have like the tools to like bring it to life in a platform.
Yeah. So for someone who's like a true solo, what would you say a practical advice?
Document everything.
Yeah.
And that's also a great use case for AI. Be it, whichever flavor you choose, ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, whatever, using it as a thought partner to document those things. I've heard the term digital twin, that I think is just a fantastic term.
Yeah.
I think Mary O'Carroll put that out on her podcast. But it's great.
Yeah, a lot of new vocabulary, keeping up with the times. I thought I was trying to keep up with the teenager lingo, but now I've got legal tech lingo that I'm learning. Anyway, so this is like one other question I wanted to ask you as we're closing up. What's something about the future of legal tech that most people aren't talking about yet?
Wow. I would say it's the change management that comes with like deploying more AI and what that's going to look like in that. I think people are, the conversation around AI goes in two big parts. One This is here. This is changing everything. And people are they're either ignoring it or they're looking at an end future state. But there's a bridge time.
Mm-hmm.
And the bridge time is going to be probably a little longer than people want it to be or that people think.
Yeah.
So the adoption is going to take way longer than the tech.
Yeah, I think that even when people are talking about changing case management software or whatever, they hear about C stuff, like nice little new things out. There's a lot of shiny objects out there. When you come back from a conference and you try to implement things, like it takes a while, but it's usually because the humans.
Yes.
and just having to implement, and things take longer than you think they're going to take, like building a house or something.
Yeah, it's partly on the build side,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just some people just don't really like or embrace change.
That's right.
Some people are really all in on it. They're like, hey, give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people aren't. And so you got to bring people along on the journey.
Right.
Because just because you're replacing tasks that they're doing doesn't mean that you're replacing them as a person, right? You're freeing that person up to do higher value things.
Mm-hmm.
Because things that a computer can do should be done by a computer, to leave the humans to do the things that a humans can do. Things that require emotional intelligence and relationships and connecting with people and providing judgment. Those are the skills that people need to embrace.
Yeah, there was a lot of great tidbits yesterday. Like Tracy Litt, I believe, mentioned, she talked about change management, and she actually talked about the brain and how when there's something different or change, what happens and why it was it fun. I don't know. It was good. I need to get her on the podcast too. But it was that's so true. The change management, and we've been talking about that as well, and in resilience at some other conferences that I've been speaking at. And I think you're right. I don't think we're talking enough about it. I know there's the concept of ADKAR, and there's a lot of other best practices, but we really have to evaluate. And there was also something said on the panel yesterday about how, when you have a staff that don't want to change, but they've been with the firm a long time, and what do? And it was pretty much consensus was this is where we're going. You either get on the train or get off, type of thing. But
yes, you do that and gently.
Yes, and gently, right?
It's like a padded hammer.
Yeah. No, but I mean, even for the law firm owners, where they are in this conversation, I think with some of them, depending on where they are in their career, they might be with ostrich with the head in the sand, saying, "Can this AI stuff go away, please?" But it's not. It's newsflash.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by all the different things you have to do to run a law firm? Well, you're not alone. So many law firm owners are in the same boat. That's where Staffy steps in. More than 90 firms, just like yours, are leaning on their bilingual virtual staff for legal, administrative, marketing, and client-facing work, plus their full HR support. I currently have 11 team members with Staffy across my own firm and Power Strategy Group, and it's been a total game changer. Schedule a free initial consultation at staffy.cc, that's stafi.cc, and use the code RUBY, RUBY, for $500 off.
Well, it's been great having you, Brian. How can people find you and stay connected?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
That's pretty much the only social I hang out on these days. But I'm on there, BAMMKE.
Okay.
And you can find me there.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Power Up Your Practice. I'm Ruby Powers, and it's been a pleasure sharing this time with you. We love your reviews, so if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us one and share this podcast with someone else so that they can know what you've been learning on our show. And make sure to check out the Power Up Your Practice book. It's available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. It's packed with 25 chapters of strategies to grow and streamline your firm. And we also have the free Power Hub community on School to keep the conversation going in between the episodes. So make sure to keep powering up your practice, and we'll see you next time.